What's up, motherfuckers? Talking shit with Michal. I will talk about losing weight and how to lose weight. Basically, foolproof ways to lose weight. And if you follow what I say, I would say most likely you will lose weight. The issue is with losing weight, like with everything in life, it's not easy and it's not effortless. And that's one of the issues why there is such a huge issue with food related stuff, health, and all this sort of stuff is because most people, uh, or huge amounts of people, want easy fix, easy answer, take a pill and lose the weight or stuff like that. But it's not only that, it's very, and it's actually the issue with all of this, it's actually very convoluted type of thing because there is a lot of factors to it. So one of the biggest factors that is basically the most crucial to understand is that your diet, what you put into your body, is unbelievably important. And I used to think recently, and I released that podcast about, rules how to stay on track or not to stay on track, lose weight. Pretty similar type of thing. It's just I want to kind of approach it from more of a psychological perspective type of thing, and also from perspective how I was able to go through all of this and come out of it being fit and healthy. Because I said this a million times, but I'm gonna repeat it. At some point, I was depressed, suicidal, and 310 pounds, almost obese level. Some I wonder, actually, I gotta do some research because probably I was on a obese level, and eventually I came out of it. But the thing is, and was mostly was, that although even I lost around 100 pounds, I still would yo-yo diet. I would never really get back to being really fat, but over the COVID situation, I gained about 30 pounds. I got to like 230 pounds. So, roughly speaking, maybe it wasn't 30 pounds, it was like over 20 pounds gain. And before all this situation, I wouldn't even think I ever would get back to such a heavy weight because I would yo-yo diet before, but I would get within like 215 pounds, maybe 216 pounds, and I would just pull myself together and basically get back on track. And overall, I would be walking around 205 pounds, and here and there I would get around 210 pounds. But roughly speaking, 205, 210 was my average weight, and very rarely I would get past that. Obviously, like I was saying, I would overeat, overindulge, all this sort of stuff. But now, as I understood the most important, which kind of I did understand before, but I didn't understand it fully. So I used to think that if you eat bad food here and there, every 2 3 weeks you go crazy and you eat a whole pizza or something. I truly kind of believed it's not too bad for you. And now, as I'm actually starting to see how diet has a impact on us all, and believe it or not, our diets, bad diets, have probably even more of a psychological impact than physical. And obviously the physical impact is immense as well, but I feel psychological impact is even worse, is because that's how you see all those unbalanced people, all those Karens going crazy. And me personally, I've been there many times, and I've been even there doing podcast. I've been a Karen and stuff like that. And yeah, we all are unbalanced beings, and nobody's perfect, of course. And I'm not trying to justify my bad actions, I'm not trying to justify anybody's bad actions, or like some sort of diva moments, this and that. But the thing is, if you have not balanced diet to begin with, That's basically like a building block of your own existence, and how your body function, how your mind function, and how you perceive and see the world. So basically, if you ingest, eat bad food, and there is a lot of food that's not even food, it's a food product, and it's legitimately not even food. It legally cannot be called food because it's not. And unfortunately, there, on top of it all, there's a huge or really big group of people in modern countries eating, empty calories that really, give you mouth pleasure. They give you some sort of satisfaction of your desire, I guess, or indulgence. You feed into indulgence, but at the end of the day, your body suffers. And the thing is, once again, I believe your mind suffers even more, and I've been the product of it. So I just went through Omicron, and thanks to my Omicron situation was kind of intriguing, because at first I got a food poisoning, and then I got Omicron. So, but what was great about the food poisoning, basically my body rejected all food for about three 3.5 days, throughout 3.5 days. So first day I was just throwing up, I didn't eat anything at all. Second day I already felt better with throwing up. I didn't feel nauseous or anything, but I couldn't eat. I ate like one orange, I believe, or maybe two oranges. And for the next day and a half I ate another orange, and that was it. And what I'm saying is that over those, like, let's say, let's for the sake of argument, let's say within those 4 days, uh, you know I ate almost nothing, and within those 4 days my body kind of cleared out of the necessity to ingest too much sugar, necessity to drink coffee. For example, I stopped drinking coffee completely. I don't even feel like drinking coffee anymore. And I'm not saying coffee is really bad for you. I'm pretty sure one cup of coffee, if you drink one cup of coffee, you know, I'm pretty sure that it can be even very beneficial for you. But like for me, I started drinking coffee, and like I've been struggling with it forever. I had moments, let's say like 7 years back, where I would be drinking literally like 6 7 coffees a day. But obviously, right away, I realized it was super unhealthy to do so. And eventually, I went down to about 2 3 coffees a day, and I stayed within this range pretty much forever. But the thing is, lately, because of the stress, because of many different factors, I kind of started stepping up that level. And roughly speaking, I would stay within those 2 3 coffees, but here and there I would get to 4 coffees. Here and there I would get to 5 coffees. And it was already getting to a point when it was getting completely out of control. And that's what I'm saying, many, and the good thing with me on top of it all is that at least I am aware of the problem. And even if I am in the problem, I am aware of it. Many people don't even know they have a problem to begin with, and like I'm saying, if they don't really know what they're eating is bad for them, and they don't even know that it affects them really, really badly, they basically end up being really confused, mad, frustrated, all this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's hard for them even to truly dissect and break down what's really is happening. So that's one of the very perplexing things about this whole food industry situation, because obviously food industry is making money on you being hooked on sugar, and basically coming back and buying their product over and over, and preferably consuming multiple products throughout the day. And your health is not a concern to them, and even in a way I'm sure of it. It can be conspiracy, this and that, but you know uh, I am sure of it that basically they want you to be unhealthy. The more unhealthy you are, the more unbalanced you are, and the more you will indulge and basically indulge your life away. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I've been doing it, and I've been very lucky actually to get this virus, because my body was forced to go through some sort of like a cleanse type of thing. And I right now I've been doing intermittent fasting, eating twice a day, sometimes even once a day, but I prefer doing it twice a day. And also my diet basically consists of natural food, meaning um, vegetables, avocados, some sort of meats, potatoes, all this sort of stuff, cauliflower, broccoli, and fish. And basically I avoid breads, flours, anything processed. I try not to use as much sugars. Also, what I do is, let's say, recently I figured out recently, which I didn't really know, that salt is actually very good for us, but it needs to be a mineral salt, not the refined salt. And that's another thing, even stuff that technically speaking could be good, is bad because it's refined. And there is so much stuff out there that, basically the odds are stacked against us. And on top of it, if you're not aware of what you put into your body and what is like a natural product or natural food for your body, that's made naturally made for your body to flourish, if you are not aware what are those products, you know just by existing in this today world, many people have no clue really what's good for them. And unfortunately, it's actually like an opposite effect. Many things that are really bad for them, people associate it as being good for them. And like all this pleasure food, people, and I speak out of experience because I've been doing this my whole life. I seek out all this pleasure food, and I seek it out as a treating myself. But that's like the worst thing ever, because I'm literally um, doing myself harm, not treating myself. And we are basically, society is kind of stuck in this cycle where you know as an indulgence perspective, maybe we are treating ourselves, but as health perspective, we are destroying ourselves. We're destroying our kids. We're destroying, you know, even the connection between our brain cells and stuff. And all of this, in many ways, a lot of this stuff is kind of obvious, but if you do not break it down for yourself, it's kind of like dark magic. And me personally, I've been aware of, you are what you eat, and pretty much everybody's aware you are what you eat. And I've been aware of this concept forever, literally since I'm like 23 years old. But now I'm 33 and I'm finally starting to get it. And it took me like a decade to truly get it. And I thought I already got it like 10 years ago. And that's what I'm saying, is that there is so many smaller, bigger nuances about it that is very fucking perplexing, to say the least, because the food industry knows about all of those pitfalls, tricks, and ways to keep us hungry, unhealthy, and always wanting more of indulgence. And is and basically all of this is so rigged against us. And the funny thing is that at the end of the day, most people want to be healthy, fit, attractive, all this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, they end up just indulging and going for their bad habits, and, feeling bad for themselves at the end of the day. And also, once again, speak out of experience, been there, done that, been doing that my whole life. And how did I come out of it? I basically do everything to stop feeling bad for myself. And let me tell you this right away. It does not mean I'm a always happy person. No, it actually means that a lot of times I'm miserable anyway. But I don't lie to myself. I don't force like a false narrative into my mind that, oh, I'm just gonna eat pizza for a whole week and everything's gonna be fine. No, even if I eat pizza for a whole week, right? I tell myself, you are a slob and it's time to change this, So, although I fucked up, at least I keep it real to myself. And I don't know, for me, that makes sense because you stay within sort of boundaries of. You stay accountable to yourself, right? And that's another thing, the accountability. It seems that people are not accountable. And, going back to the same premise I was saying, that the pleasurable thing, the pleasurable in the small indulgence, this and that. Small indulgence is not bad, but when you basically seek indulgence all the time and, whatever you eat is driven more by indulgence than necessity for nutrition and stuff like that, you are, shooting yourself in the foot. And once again, I don't even want to blame people for doing so. It's just, but I want to blame people for not understanding the whole situation, is because doing it so is kind of like I was saying, the system is kind of rigged against us, because the food they are feeding us and showing us, pushing on us, is straight up making us worse altogether, as a nation, as a psychological person. We are all over the place, and guess what? The food does not help. It actually amplifies all of this. That's why there is so many Karens out there. But if you are aware that there is bad food and good food, and you still go for mostly bad food, and you always find some sort of excuse because of this, or it's because of hard, because I love French fries. Okay, you know. Yeah, and that's another thing. There's so many people, and me included, I've been there. I used to think, oh, I cannot stop eating bread. I stopped eating bread for, already like months now. It happens. I eat bread, I'm not gonna lie to you. But, I have no issue with not eating bread. And I used to always think, oh man, it's going to be impossible for me not to eat bread. Not only that, when I don't eat bread, I actually feel better as a person, and as I'm already let go of pretty much most of the bread, you know, I don't even feel the loss. Actually, it makes me, when I eat food without bread, actually the food even feels better, because there is more of a real type of connection of food and the mixtures that are, because the bread itself, there are better and worse breads, this and that, but overall, bread is kind of unnatural type of food. It's like a filler type of thing, let's say potato, it might have starch, it might give you some insulin spike, this and that, but at least it's a food that is nutritious to your body. Bread, not so much. It's kind of opposite, so it's basically fills your stomach up, but it doesn't really give you that much nutrition and beneficial things that replenish your body, right? And basically that's what I feel. Although I love bread as an idea and as an indulgence type of product, but it's not good for my body overall. And now, as I let go of bread, my body literally feels that now the food I'm ingesting, is actually replenishing, refilling, and basically the nutrition I'm ingesting is beneficial for my body. If food is literally medicine, the right type of food. And that's another thing, is that although pretty much everybody kind of knows that and everybody heard that concept, but some people kind of don't believe it, and the reason why I say it, because I used to think that, like I was saying, I used to think you can eat sherry a little bit here and there and still be completely fine and still be completely healthy. No, that truly is a myth, and it's a myth they want you to believe because they have a whole industry designed for people to indulge, buy, consume, and on top of it, like I was saying, it's also affecting our mental state. And as is affecting our mental state, there is even more industries behind it, like mental industries, like people going, people breaking down this and that, people not knowing who they are, or they mental fatigue, mental, they don't have a clarity in their mind. There's so many things, and also, like the obesity is like jump starting, and it's fueling the business of losing weight, dieting, all this sort of stuff. And one of the simplest ways to losing weight is basically eat natural, healthy food, and just eat twice a day, and pretty much that's it. Obviously exercise, and having like some sort of healthy mindset, all of this sort of stuff, it's crucial, necessary, all of this. But you can literally go as simple as just basically cut out all the junk, eat natural foods, and maybe exercise as well. And if you follow just that simplicity, you right away, and also, cut out sodas, sugars, right? You right away will lose huge amounts of weight, and probably if you stick to the system, which is not even a system, is literally what our ancestors been doing forever, you literally will be a healthy, skinny, or fit individual. And that's how simple it is. And they don't want you to know about it, is because it's too simple. And that's the thing. And once again, I'm coming back to that comfort zone, because most people cannot let go of the idea of that indulgence, whatever. They love pizza, they love cake, ice cream, whatever. And they just cannot let it go, because, like, oh, how am I going to live without your ice cream? But the paradox of it all is that actually you will feel better, and you will be stronger, better, faster without the ice cream. And hands down, you will feel like a better person without the ice cream. The issue is, most people, it's their addiction talking, it's their comfort zone talking, is their, and it's also food industry chemical experiments talking, right? And many people cannot really go through that barrier of understanding, because they feel comfortable with that. They love their ice cream, they love their candy. And the reason I say that, because I'm literally a product of this environment, and I went through it. And only when I finally kicked all the unnecessary things, like I was saying, too much sugar, I cut out coffee, basically bread, and basically I eat. So my meals are basically the simplest thing ever. Vegetables, all kinds of vegetables, depending what kind of vegetables I have, some sort of, let's say, salad, tomatoes, bell peppers, and then I add to it some sort of meat, either it's chicken, beef, pork. I've been eating lately sardines, I also avocado, all this sort of stuff. I use a lot of salt, good amount of salt, but mineral salt. I ingest natural fats like coconut oils, but not refined. You know, there is so many little things that affect us in a wrong way. For example, the refined oils, the seed oils, is very much unhealthy for us in any form. And if and wherever you go out to eat, all they do is cook with those oils and stuff like that. And many people cook with those oils not even being aware that it's very not beneficial to them. And the craziest thing about it is that it's kind of normal thing that it's accepted, this and that. But like I was saying in one of the previous podcasts about food nutrition I made, is that in few years from now, all of this shit is gonna be treated as cigarettes, and basically we need to go back to our roots. And once again, that's why we live in such a perplexing world full of very unstable people, is because we don't even have a stable diet that is healthy. It's completely unhealthy, and most people, even if they consider themselves eating healthy, they eat very unhealthy. And like I was watching some sort of documentary that male males should ingest about 9 teaspoons of sugar throughout the day, female about 6 teaspoons of sugar throughout the day. If you drink one soda, you're already going past that, the full daily amount limit of sugar. Imagine if you drink 5 sodas a day, and there's people that probably drink like 10 of them a day. You see what I'm saying? And the issue with all of this is that many people are not even completely aware how bad all of this is, and literally they are killing themselves, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, and many of them are not aware. And the biggest tragedy to it all is that this is kind of chemically induced, chemically pushed, promoted, and on top of it, like even the culturally, socially, even commercials, advertising, all of this sort of stuff, none of this is helping. All of this is even making it worse. And the funny thing is, for example, I always talk about diet to the people I know, I care about. For example, I tell my mom, stop eating this sort of stuff, eat more of a healthy, nutritious type of diet. Not only she does not appreciate those words from me, she takes it as a insult, or as I'm an asshole. But if anybody's an asshole, we know who's the asshole in this equation. But the point that I'm trying to make, that literally we have our priorities upside down, and it's 100% true. And I cannot imagine that people don't see it, but I also feel that many people don't want to see it because they are comfortable with their indulgent side of things, like I was my whole life. But now, like I'm saying, when I actually let go of those things, I feel so much better, and I'm actually happy not to be eating bread, period. Thank you very much. So people, please do your research about real nutrition and real food, and basically food products, all this sort of stuff, and also food industry, conflict of interest, all this sort of stuff. If you look into that stuff, it's almost impossible for you to see the food industry any other way than just basically like a bad thing. Basically, it is a bad thing, and and on top of it, they're using our emotions, our instincts against us, all this sort of stuff. It's literally immoral behavior what they're doing, and on top of it, they are targeting kids from their youngest age possible. How is that even like a thing? How we are allowing the youngest generation to be, forced fed, figuratively and literally. The idea that food product which is poison is good to you. Let me actually add this concept that is kind of amazing to me, and it always been very perplexing. When I was a very young child, I remember really enjoying an apple. And I remember the idea of, because I remember my mom when I was very young, couple years old, my mom gave me an apple and I didn't even know what an apple was. I ate it and I was so amazed. The other day or 2 days later, I asked my mom, can you give me this most delicious thing that you gave me the other day? And my mom what was it? She didn't know what it was, and I didn't know it was an apple. I didn't know, so I was like, oh, the little thing, the ball thing, And my mom, oh, it was an apple, and she was, literally so entertained because she wouldn't think it is an apple, but that's the thing, an apple can be like a dessert, a candy, a cake, but we are so desensitized with all of this sort of salty, sugary, fatty, and combination of sugary and salty, fatty and sugary, all of this. We are literally overwhelmed with all of this, and where I'm heading with this, that literally natural food, it can and it is as good as as candy, as so it, and not only is as tasty, it's more tasty. It's just when we are desensitized to the real goodness of it, we lose the connection. But as a young child, I didn't really care about candy because I wasn't exposed to candy, and to me the apple was literally like a dessert. Nowadays, kids look at an apple like, what the fuck is that? Please throw it out. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, people, because I'm speaking some serious food for thought here, and I love doing podcast, and but it really kind of frustrates me that I talk about really beneficial stuff, and it's not. I understand I cannot force anybody to do things I'm saying, right? And I don't even want to do that. But it is kind of perplexing to me that I give so much great advice that literally can change people's lives forever, and they can be like superior human beings, and it seems it's not even making a smallest of a small impact, and it seems it's actually like an opposite effect that people think I'm an asshole, you know but whatever. I love you, motherfuckers, and please just be a better human being every day. And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm struggling every day. I'm battling with a lot of things every day, but at the end of the day, I also am looking forward to the tomorrow, and I know nothing is perfect in life. That's one of the biggest truths to life, is that if you accept perfection seriously, and I don't want to say it, but it's a joke. Right away I'm gonna say it, it's a joke. If you expect only perfection, fucking kill yourself, because you will never be happy with anything in your life, because life is not perfect, and you basically have to roll with the punches. You will get punched, you will get hit, but it's your choice. Either you get knocked the fuck out, or pick your fucking arms up and keep on fighting. Peace out.